Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, September 2nd. Happy Friday, everybody. It's 6:21 right now. Market's going to open in about 9 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room, and then we can get started with our session shortly. Just a reminder, today is NFP. So as you guys can see, obviously on the chart, some crazy movements today. I'm going to go ahead and clean this up. This is from yesterday. And you can see that price didn't really move much. It kind of just consolidated pretty much throughout the day. And then it swung right back into the same area where price was yesterday, because this was New York Open yesterday. I'm going to clean this up, and I'm going to redraw all of the zones and markups for the new day shortly. Just give me a few moments to finish updating, and we should be good to go. All right. Good. Looks good. All right, solid. Looks good. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Make sure I got the mute on this time. The rest of the members. All right. Here we go. All right, looks good. So let me go and clean up the chart, mark up the markups for today. So let me clean this up right here. Take all the stuff off. And as you guys can see, price pushed super heavily from NFP. That's why it's so far up there away from all the previous zones. All right. It's good. A lot of these zones are going to disappear though, once price continues to move along, if it doesn't correct back down. So I'll make sure to update these as price continues to move along. Looks good. All right, looks good, guys. So good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Today is Friday, September 2nd. It is 6:24 right now. Market's going to open in about 6 minutes. And as market opens, we'll get started for our NFP trading day. So let's see who's here. Morning, Peter. Morning, Funmi. Morning, Surin. Morning, Patricia. Morning, Steven. Morning, Marco. Morning, everybody. If you guys are not familiar with NFP, this is like one of the highly manipulated days of the month. Happens the first week of every month. As you guys can see right here, NFP happened at 5:30. Huge spike to the upside. I didn't look at the news, but let me see what the news was like. So let me go ahead and just mark up the news price right there for NFP. NFP was negative as anticipated. Actually, so it was a little neutral because average hourly earnings was negative. NFP, non-farm employment change was positive. But employment rate went down, which is kind of weird because typically they're usually all in one direction, right? If unemployment rate is higher, then there should have been, less workers, but there's actually more workers. Well, technically there's not more workers. It was just that last month it was at 526,000, and they were forecasting it to be a lot lower, but it's actually not so bad. But the unemployment rate is still up, so I guess it does make sense, but it doesn't necessarily mean it was all negative. It's still overall not good. So this big spike right here is like unnecessary, right? But I mean, we'll mark it up. I mean, we'll just say it's neutral, or I'll say that it was negative because It just doesn't make sense. I mean, for it to be pushing up like that, it doesn't necessarily mean that like non-farm employment changes did go up. It just went down, but not as down as I thought it would be. So it's still negative overall. So this is going to be NFP news negative. Yeah, Peter said build back is working well. Rick said more people are getting second jobs. That's why. Yeah, no, exactly. And I can see that too, Rick. I agree with Rick as well. It's just like the data here isn't proper. It's not like this is every single person. It just means that there's more jobs that are getting taken, but it's still negative. So it dropped a lot. So like this is the previous month of September, August. It was 526,000. It's still like, I mean, it dropped almost to half. So a lot of jobs have been wiped out. It's just better than what they expected. So we'll count that as negative. But yeah, if that's the case, then price might be swinging back down on open. So morning, Maria. Morning, Matt. Morning, everybody. So let's see. Let's look at the sentiment now. So looking over here at overall sentiment, it's currently 54% long, indicating that 54% of retail traders are currently buying right now. We typically want to do the opposite and sell. However, the sentiment here isn't that strong. It's just 54%. Typically, you want it to be around 60 to 70% or more. That's going to give us a bias. So this is going to be somewhat neutral. It's still going to be somewhat bearish, but also neutral at the same time. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently up 253 points. So this is going to clash. If the sentiment here is telling us to take sells and the fundamentals are telling us to take buys, then it's pretty much neutral at this point. Taking a look at the heat map right now, heat map should be all green, which it is because the fundamentals are so high. So with that said, we don't really have much of a bias. It's pretty much overall neutral right now. So what we'll have to look at is going to be the trend. The trend right here is obviously bullish. You can see the trend meter down here is all green. Pivots are also bullish, pointing upwards with the green pivot over the red. So with this here, we're going to have to wait for this retracement. As you guys can see, there hasn't been really much of a real retracement. Price is pushed up about, let's see. So price is pushed up about over 3,000 pips from NFP. And then there was a retracement right here. So price pulled up, came back down. This is established as a new low. The new low over here hasn't retraced for 2,000 pips. So you guys can see here that it's due for retracement, right? It's going to happen at some point. It might not happen initially on open, but eventually price is going to swing back down. So just keep that in mind. I'm pretty sure on open, it's probably going to swing back down. I think a lot of people are going to go against this movement right here. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are expecting retracement down, right? However, the thing that you want to keep in mind is that this is like playing chess, right? You want to be logical. So if everyone's thinking that price is going to come down, what do you think the market maker is going to do? What they're probably going to do is they're going to spike it down initially on open. So the market's going to open in about 30 seconds. When the market opens, it might spike down really sharply. And then people are going to bandwagon into that to chase the drop, right? But as soon as people bandwagon into that sell, what's going to happen there is going to spike right back up, right? Or it's going to do the opposite. It can do that. I think on open, it's going to spike one way or the other. It's either going to spike down and then lure people in and then spike the other way to stop them right back out, or it's going to do the opposite and spike up and then spike all the way back down super hard to stop out literally everybody who chased these buys here. I think this might be a better prediction of what's going to happen. So the market is now open, guys. Let's see what happens here. Let's see which direction they're looking to fake people out. So let's see, price is dropping right here. Here goes a retracement that we were looking for. You just kind of got to gauge the drop here. If it looks like a super crazy spike, it's probably going to swing right back up. If it's like a normal, like little drop or a slow drop, you can see right there, see how it's dropping? They're luring in these sellers right here. Don't chase the sell. I'm anticipating to swing right back up. So it's dropping right here. I'm pretty sure on like the next wick or maybe even this wick, it's going to cause a huge wick and it's just going to shoot right back up. So it might, I think this will be a fake out. It'll be a fake out to the bottom, swing back up, fake out to the top, and swing right back down. But yeah, I'd be careful with this. I mean, I'm only looking for SR rejections anyway, so I wouldn't have any entries to take to begin with. I would have to wait for something to actually come up because there's no zones around this area. So it's playing out pretty much like we anticipated. Here's a retracement here. I'm looking for that correction back up. The only problem with the correction back up is that it's going to be in the direction of where we don't want to trade. Sentiment is in that direction. Plus fundamentals. So let's see. Rick said he's taking it all the way back down to news price. Yeah, we'll follow that. Let's see. I'm going to mark up opening price up here. So we're pretty much developing structure on both sides. So let's see, market open right here at 630. Color that blue. It's going to be New York open price. Nice. Rick is up 150 points so far. Huge push. I'd recommend just at least moving your stop loss and profit though, Rick. You can hold it for as long as you want, but I'd prefer that you protect your position just in case. Anyways, looking from here, this is where the retracement happened. So this push down here is pushed down 1,700 pips. So let's see what happens here. Yeah, I mean, preferably I would have wanted it to push up and then write it down. I would have done the same thing you did, Rick, but because, you know, obviously I don't want to be buying. The sentiment here is for buys. Honestly, I think if this number here increases, it's going to be in your favor because what happens here is like people are going to try to buy the dip, and instead of the price going back up, it's just going to keep dumping, right? Because you're just going to stop everybody out who bandwagon onto those buys. You just got to think of it from a logical perspective. Like when price drops like this, what happens to some people? The people who took the risk here to take the sell for the correction are like eating it up right now, right? However, the people down here are looking to buy the dip. So you have to see that there's two different types of people in the market. There's people who want to buy the dip or holding long term, and then there's other people who are trying to risk it and gamble and try to catch the correction here. So you got people on both sides looking to turn. It just depends on like where most people are sitting. So basically whatever happens here will determine, you know, the direction of price for the rest of the day. So this right here is a risky push. Once we see the correction and the confirmation, then that's going to determine, you know, where price is likely to go for the rest of the day. Because the market, I feel like the market makers right now are still kind of playing around with the retail traders. They're looking to see who's going to chase it, right? Are more people going to chase the sell, or more people going to chase the buy? Once they have a good pool of people in one direction, they can just spike it the other way and then make all their money off them. However, if there's a lot of people on both sides, like say there's a lot of people selling and there's a lot of people buying, then they're going to screw with it. So this is my guess. If it's not one-sided, what's going to happen is they're going to push it up a little bit to lure in buyers, right? So they pushed it down to lure in sellers, then they're pushing it up to lure in buyers, so that there's going to be a huge area of liquidity right here for people who sold and a huge area of liquidity here for people who bought, right? So with that said, once they have enough buyers here, they're just going to push price up slightly to give them some hope, push it up a little bit higher, and then possibly dump it right back down. And then, so I'm assuming the people who enter the buys right here, their stop losses are going to be around here, or news prices. That's why I kind of agree with Rick's analysis there, because when they enter buys here, their stop loss is going to be a bit farther down. So if you enter a buy right here, stop loss can be right there, about 1,000 pips, right? Usually that's what people who like try to buy dips do. They have the stop loss pretty wide, but they go for a bigger move. So they do something like this. They try to enter like right here, and then they go for like a 1 to 2, right? You've seen a lot of people do that. That's typically how they're looking to trade it. So I'm just waiting. You know, I'm not going to fall for any of these traps. I'm just going to wait, see where price goes, because there's a lot of areas where price can reject from. It can reject from structure, or even down here, news and sessions. Rick said, damn, out with only 2K. Oh, you moved your stop loss really close. I thought you were just going to move it right here, Rick, like in profit, and then you just, let it run. It's all good. You still made 2,000 off that. All right, so price is still dropping around this area. So this is kind of what I'm looking for to happen here. Price is dumped quite a bit. I'm looking for price to retrace the other way and then come back down, or I'm looking for some consolidation, because if that's the case, then we can look for sells here, right? Because if price consolidates around this area, this is perfectly fine, because once we get a wick rejection off this point and it continues to drop lower, then I can take that for a sell. I just need to give it some time for the pivots here to catch up, because it's dropped too heavily right here. So a lot of this stuff doesn't really matter to me, because, we're going for a smaller push. We don't really care if it's going to reach news price or whether it's going to retrace back up. It's just going to be enough for us to get in and out rather quickly. So this is how much we're looking to shoot for. When you go for 100 pips, we only need this much movement. So it's enough for us to get in and out, no problem. I know a lot of you guys were looking at like what Mace was talking about using the sessions as the bounce points. That's not a bad idea. I mean, what you can do with that is you can use a trailing stop. That's something I used to do as well. Like price would get near these sessions right here, and then I'd have a trailing stop. So when price would push down at least, 100 pips, it would follow it. I would just do it once, so I wouldn't I'd let it push away from the sessions. Like for example, right here, price got to the sessions, I would only let it hit once. Same with this right here. Price came up, only let it hit once, and that'd be it for me. But it actually came twice. So there's like one right here where it came, and then another one where it hit the green one. All right, so we have a green momentum right here. Price might be shifting again. At this point, we might start to see a big range. So this looks like the range right here. Let me just draw a couple lines here. The range for right now looks like it's going to be around this point and this point down here. So this is the ranging area. As price continues to range, this is probably going to create zones around that point. Hey, Kenny, morning. All right, let's check the sentiment again. Sentiment is, you can see so it's playing out like I just anticipated, right? Right here, it went from 50, like 52, 53, now 57%, because the people are buying the dip. So the analysis I just gave earlier, where I mentioned people are going to buy the dip and price is just going to get manipulated both ways, because now that people are buying the dip, they're going to push price up slightly to give these buyers some hope. And then it's just going to come crashing right back down. Right. So that's my guess right here. I don't think this is going to correct all the way back up. I think this is going to push up maybe halfway, or even, just to where it's at. And then eventually it's going to come right back down, because they just lured in all the buyers right here. You can see the number increase. Like this is like real time data for these retail traders, right? You can see it change immediately. From this morning, it was 53 or 54%, went up to 55, 56, now it's at 57. So you can see that people are looking to buy the dip. The thing with US30 is that it's a directional asset. So a lot of people use this as an asset where they typically do buy the dip. It's like, a very high-end stock. And you can see right there, price is coming right back down. So it looks like the consolidation phase is actually happening right here, which is perfect. Price came down, retraced, and then now the consolidation is happening right here. So eventually, I think they're going to push price maybe slightly higher to lure in some more buyers, and then they'll just dump it right back down. It's just going to be a matter of time until it plays through. There's another one right here too, Maddie. You going to take this one? Double body. Candle's kind of big though. I'm not taking this trade right here. I'm just showing you guys. So, Maddie, we hit again, Maddie. Down those right there. So another continuation. So yeah, here's the setup right here. Yeah, we'll TP on that one. The spread's kind of wide though, so be a little risky. Spread's 190 right now. Oh. Yeah, I'm looking for an SR rejection right here. Basically, I'm looking for price to push below this point. Come back up. It doesn't really need to push below. It just needs to, yeah, Peter said the yawn indicator. It needs to push around this area, close right there, give us a wick rejection and continue. If we get that right there, then it'd be a pretty good one. Just gotta make sure the candle's not too big. But yeah, as you guys can see right here, it's in consolidation. So this is the full consolidation range. This is like the actual range. And then this is the smaller one right here. So it's just consolidating between this high and this low right here. This is the sideways direction between this point right here. Yeah, the spread's still kind of high. It's starting to drop a little bit. It's now down on 180, but it is overall still pretty high. I do think price is going to drop though, so that's the thing. Maybe I'll try one of those continuation sells with you, Maddie, if I see one that's good. So I would like the spread to be lower though. Typically spreads like good around like 130. It's still at 180. It's not like extremely high, but it is pretty high. All right, this might be it right here. If this closes as a moderate red candle, this could possibly be the entry. One thing you want to look for is the wick below. You also want to look for the candle close. So we got about 40 seconds left on it. Candle can't be too big. You want to make sure there's not a big wick on the bottom either. So just pay attention to the wick on the bottom. Make sure it's a moderate candle. If it closes, you can take it for a sell. If not, you got to wait for the next one. Got about 20 seconds left on this. Wick on the bottom is too big right now. Following it. This candle is not a moderate red candle, so no entry. Nothing off that. All right, so we got to wait for it to get pushed down again, close below this point. And then once it does that, so the range is just getting wider. You can see the range is down now from this point and this point right here. It's not super wide, but it's a little wide. You can see it here. There's a range right there. So there is a consolidation range. We just need it to close back below this point. It needs to close within the structure. Once it closes below the structure, then this right here would be prime point for the wick rejection, because we can't get the wick rejection until it closes within it or below it. So it's got to push down a little lower. Still not there. Peter said news in 15 minutes. Let me check. Thanks for that, Peter. I didn't notice that we had news at 7 o'clock. So we do have news right here at 7. Let's see, price is pushing with that buy signal. Trend meter is now neutral. You gotta keep it below. That's the main thing. If it keeps pushing up, it's gonna give it that buy signal. So we need to keep it below where it's going to just swing right back up. Let's take a look at the sentiment again. Sentiment is at 56% long. So as you guys can see, the number is changing. It looks like some of these people are getting scared, whoever's buying, or they got stopped out. So depending on like where they bought. So people bought from this point when it first dropped. It dropped about almost 1,000 pips. So it looks like they probably got stopped out. Here's the trick that I always tell you guys about where people get trapped in these positions is that they get stopped out and then they see price pushing back up right here and then they FOMO right back in, right? Because they think they got unlucky, they got stopped out because of this spike right here. Then they re-enter for a buy and then it just lures them back in. So they're just churning traders right now. They're letting people get stopped out and then they're letting them re-enter. Or what happens is for a lot of people, they don't take the first entry, they get stopped out and then they hop in here because they think this is the real move. But again, it's just another fake out. So something to keep in mind. Thanks, Peter. Looks like there's 2 news events in 15 minutes. Good to know. Yeah, Maddie said looks like a fake out to the top right now. Yeah, and I agree too, Maddie. I think they're just looking to churn in some more buyers. Number here changed by 1%. Looking over here at the fundamentals are up 139 points. So they're not very strong. This was up like 200 points earlier. Now it's, or close to 200 points. Now it's only at 139. So from my perspective, they're just churning in some more sellers or some more buyers, actually. I think eventually price is going to eventually make its way down to the news price right here. And I've been yawning a lot lately. I don't know if it's because of the market or what. I've been getting a lot more sleep though, so it's weird. It's probably just the market. It's not as exciting as it's been lately. All right, so price is coming back down right here. We need a sell signal. So in order for us to take a sell here, we need a sell signal and we also need wick rejection off the structure right here. So I'm hoping it comes up between or before the next 10 minutes, because at that point we got to wait for news to pass. It is light at impact news though, so might not be too crazy. But nevertheless, we're still going to be a bit cautious about taking entries around that point. So let me take a look at my FX book. My FX book right here. There's news coming up. Yeah, factory orders, transportation, and normal factory orders. Okay. Looks cool. All right, there we go. The sell signal. Now we just need it to close below here again. We need it to close below this point, the structure, and we also need to wait for it to provide a wick rejection off the structure with a moderate red candle. As you guys can see right here, I drew this range earlier, right? Nothing's changed, same place. So it's still ranging within that same area that I drew here on the clean chart. What I'll do right now as well is I'm going to mark up a high low so that you guys can have an idea of market structure in general. So if you guys are ever like not so sure about market structure and you guys can't see these ranging markets, what you can do is you can just draw the high lows if you guys have the K2 high low indicator, and this will help you identify market structure a lot clearer. Because all I did was I drew a range right here where the market structure is, and you can see right here there's a range within a range. So there's that big range and then there's a small range right here. Right. So here goes, price pushes above it. It's breaking out of the range. We'll see how far it pushes. It's probably just gonna push up slightly and come right back down. Yeah, exactly. Dijon said he's also looking at that bit of liquidity at the bottom for a push. Yeah, there's a lot sitting right there. So if price pushes down here to correct to where news price was, it can easily just break through that point and blast right through it. So, but as you guys can see, it's a really uncertain market right now. It's still in a range. It's just pushed out a little higher. It just might widen out the range a little bit before it comes back down. And you can see right here, the number increased again, right? Went from 56 to 57. This is exactly what we want, because what they're doing here is they're just churning in more buyers, like I was just mentioning earlier. Basically, the people who got stopped out earlier are just hopping back in, or new traders are hopping into the buy side right now because they think price is going to push up. It's all about strategizing. Whenever you guys are looking for entries, you have to analyze it from both directions. If the number here is increasing, like what's really increasing it, right? Is it just retail traders? Is it market makers actually pushing it that direction for a reason? There's two different things that you can look for here for the buy. So for the buy at this point, one scenario is that price is pushing up. Like you just have to think about what other traders are thinking, right? Like what's the reasoning or the catalyst for this pushing up? It's a correction from this drop, right? Because the drop happened on open. This blue line right here is opening price. It dropped heavily and now it's correcting back up. However, the other correction that you want to look for as well is price correcting down to news price, right? So there's two different targets here. If you're looking for a buy, your target area is going to be opening price. That's the correction that you're looking for. However, if you're looking for a sell, your target price is going to be news price, because it's the same thing, right? Price pushed up right here. It corrected down a little bit, but it never went the full direction. Right here, again, it came up and it went close to it, past it, but it didn't necessarily push below. So this is why you want to be careful about trading in these areas here, because you really don't know where price is going to go. There's two different ways. It just depends on like where there's more traders. And if there's more traders buying right here, the number just decreased again 1% and it increased again 1%. The thing that you want to look at here is you typically want to do the opposite of the majority. So if the majority are buying, I'm going to try to sell. So this is going to be my target price point right here. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said risky area right now can go either way. I wait for price to go to one of these price areas first. That's exactly what I'm doing. So I'm not really following into any trades. If we get a SR entry over here, then I can catch that small push, but I'm not necessarily trying to enter like, right now. Yeah, Maddie said all these candles are huge too, so I'm careful with entries. I feel like you can get spiked to stop loss if you take a risky entry. Yeah, and Patricia said especially with the spread at 180. Yeah, spread's kind of wide. Peter agrees as well. Peter said, I agree with Maddie. Market makers are arranging it, trying to decide to spike it or drop it. Yeah, and I agree too, Peter. That's why I've just been sitting on my hands. I mean, a lot of people don't really understand, the logic behind it, but realistically, if you know what you're looking for, and there's not just one target area. Like say, for example, the opening price was down here, right? If opening price was down here and price spiked up, then I for sure would be looking for sells. But the thing is, opening price is up here, target area for buyers, and news price is down here for targets for sellers. So I wouldn't really mess with it. It is NFP as well and Friday. So even more of a risk in the market. It's just being smart, right? Like the main thing that you guys want to keep in mind is that you want to focus on not losing. I met with like one of my neighbors here in my area, and he trades as well. He trades stocks. He always told me that like he started watching our videos, and he said that he likes that we have like a set TP stop loss, because for him it's greed that comes and takes over sometimes. It's been like his best trading year, but greed is like causing him to lose a lot more trades than he needs to. So it's really about knowing when to stay out of the market and knowing when to stay in, and not focusing on the monetary profit. Just focus on winning, because that's one thing too. Like he said, he's used to making like 1,000 a day. So when he doesn't make 1,000 a day, he feels like he like lost for the day. And for me, it's like I've been like lesser than that this whole week, right? Each day I've been like having partial profits because of slippage. But I just call it a day. Like, even though I'm not at 1,000, which I typically am at, I usually just stop, because I already know once I start revenge trading, that's when the bad stuff starts to happen. So just keep that in mind. But anyways, market's not doing anything. You can see right here, price just faked out. So here's the range that I drew earlier, right? Price faked out right here, and it came right back into it. So there's no surprises. We already anticipated this to happen. As I mentioned, okay, price is probably going to either push the range out higher and then come back down, or it's just going to fake out. And that's exactly what happened. Price faked out, lured in some buyers, and pulled it right back down. And if you guys look at this red candle right here, that's a pretty big drop. Like, so from this point to down here, It's almost 1,000 pips. So like if you entered this trade here and you bandwagon onto the sell, you'd be into massive drawdown if not stopped out. So things to keep an eye on would be sentiment here. Just identify where prices, where retail traders are trading, and then just assume to do the opposite. So I'm fine with price pushing up like this. But I mean, overall, I'm still looking for a sell. So we got news coming up right here at 7, guys. I'm probably gonna have to hold off until news is passed, which is fine because I don't see any zones coming up here anyways. Yeah, exactly. And Peter said, and don't let other people's profits mess up your trading. Exactly, right? Like there's a lot of people in the group who are posting profits, and that's great because they know what they're doing. But don't let that dictate you into revenge trading or over trading, right? Like for me, when I see other people in the group post profits, we all celebrate each other. It's not like it's a competition, right? It's like someone's posting like a couple thousand in profit for this morning. Like I think this morning Mace made a whole bunch, right? And like for a lot of people, that would cause someone to want to fall into trades, right? Like for example, right here, you know, like Mace took a bunch of pre-market trades and then he called it a day before NFP. Some people, when they see this, they're like, oh, I want to go and do some crazy stuff and make that much profit. But realistically, it's just like Mace knows what he's doing. So that's why he's doing that. However, not everybody can do that. So just keep that in mind. And what Mace is doing is he's taking these rejections off the sessions right here. It's what I was talking about earlier. You can use a trailing stop and it'd probably work pretty well. Other than that, let's see. So we got some profits over here from you guys this morning. So nice work, Dell. There's an entry right here, Maddie, for that one continuation. Candle here is too big though, so I wouldn't recommend taking it. It's also at news. So let me just go back over here real quick. Dell posted some profits. He's currently up 906 for the day. Nice work, Dell. Right here, Sean over here as well, locked in some profits. Nice profit, 2,574 for the day. Nice work. He said just got funded 50,000 in the funded trader. Nice work, Sean. So I'm glad to see that. Another funded trader here in K2. Over here, Seth as well. Seth locking the total profit of 25,994 for the day. Right work, Seth. Dell again over here. He said, really done. Have a good weekend, guys. So Dell over here took another trade here for the sell. He's basically catching, you know, price come down like what Maddie's doing with a continuation in the direction of our bias. Total profit of 1,021 for the day. Nice work, Dell. So yeah, definitely have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Seth over here as well. He said, last entry, Sean said, we need a sell signal, and my finger slipped on the sell button. So he took the sell that we were waiting for, locked in a total profit of 1,419 off that total profit of 31,994 for the day. Great work, Seth. Yeah, no, sometimes the accidents play out. So glad to see you profited off that, Seth. Scotty over here as well. Scotty's currently up 840 for the day. Nice work, Scotty. It looks like he took these on open. That retracement back up. So great work, Scotty. So it looks like a lot of you guys here are taking trades like, you know, directly off of my analysis, which is good. Valentine said he thinks he's out. He locked in a total profit of 3,228. Nice. And all these trades came on after we went on the live. So I'm glad to see a lot of you guys here just listening to my analysis and taking trades off, you know, where you feel entries should be made. Because they do work out pretty solidly. There's another one right here, Maddie. Or actually, no. The bodies don't align. This one over here traced pretty heavy though. Good thing you didn't take it. Yeah, candle just way too big. Some more profits right here. Emil's on as well. Nice. He took the sell. Locked in a total profit of 1,131 off this account. Nice work, Emil's on. This one over here as well, 1,108. Looks like you guys took the breakout this morning. So looking at a lot of people's trades, Emil's trade came up here at 1630, which is 630. He took the breakout this morning. So nice work right there, Emil's on. And then this one over here as well. Same time, a little different profit, 1,158. So solid work, guys. You guys did pretty good overall. Gene Vaughn said, And Stu's like, we going live today? Like, yeah, bro, we're live every day. Like Gene Vaughn, you message me that every morning if we're going live, but we're live right now. All right, so other than that, news came up right here. Thanks, Maddie. Maddie said news is negative. Let me check news real quick. News right there for forex for factory orders. Negative. Thanks for the confirmation, Maddie. All right. Seven a.m. All right, cool. All right, so this zone right here, let's push down a little lower. All right, so price is pushed below this point. What I'm looking for here is I'm looking for price to retrace up, give us a wick rejection off the structure, and then we will continue writing this down right here. All right, so if this closes as a moderate red candle, then this could possibly be an SR entry. The zone over here keeps disappearing. I'll just draw it up right now. If it comes up again, I'll just leave it down here. So we have an idea. All right, if this candle here closes as a moderate red candle, this can possibly be an entry for a sell using the K2 SR rejection. So let's see. Cool. So I'm following right here to see is about 4 seconds left. Doesn't look like it's going to close, and it's not going to close. Nope. We have another opportunity right here off this. If this closes as a moderate red candle, this can possibly be an SR entry. Just got to keep an eye on the candle. It's got 40 seconds, so it's got a long time until it closes. It's got some time. I'm just hoping it doesn't push down too far, because we don't want to take it if the candle's too big. It's got about 30 seconds still. It's got some time. $20 seconds. 15 seconds. I'm going to watch the wick. Make sure the wick on the bottom is not too big. 5 seconds. And it's getting kind of big. Candle's close. So there is let's see where it's at. Possible entry right there. Let me see. I haven't gotten into it yet. I'm just waiting right here. I'm gonna put a sell stop right there to catch it if it swings down. So I haven't gotten into it because I waited for it to close after. It's also kind of a bad time. It's still within news. Typically want to wait until 5 minutes after. It's 7:04 right now. Let's see. Candle's kind of large as well. So I'm following it right here. See my MT4. That's weird. That would have triggered it. It's getting really close to trigger my. It keeps bouncing around my sell stop, but it hasn't triggered it yet. It's still there. Still waiting. I thought it was going to trigger my order, but it hasn't triggered it yet. Super volatile right now. See, spread is currently at 190. That's probably why I didn't trigger my order yet. Probably has to push pretty far down before it triggers it. It's going to give it a bad entry point. Let's see. Spread is still at 190. My pending order is still sitting right there. So I'll let you guys know if it fills, but I'm still waiting for him watching it. Because I might have to manually exit it if it keeps bouncing around like that. And if it gets past the TP. So let's see where it's currently at. Maybe I put my sell stop too low. All right, mine's filled now. This thing's super volatile. The spread kind of sucks though. All right, so I'm watching it. It's in profit. It just keeps going back and forth. The volatility is super high, and then the spread's also super wide. So I got to watch it because if it hits TP, I just got to pull out manually. Still currently watching. Man, I hate when it gets stuck like that at the zone. It's just like it's bouncing around trying to figure out which direction it's going to go to. There's another. I was trying to see if that was an entry right there. The one next to it, the candle's too small though, and the wick was too big on the previous one. So I'm just gonna let it run. Still running. Natasha said, darn it, got in too early and manually pulled out. Mine's still running right now. It hasn't hit thing. I know on the TP over here, it looks like it hit. Fuck, it hit my thing. It's all good. It happens. So I hit a loss right here, unfortunately, guys. I'm gonna eat that loss. It's gonna be considered a loss, of course, because, and I should have just waited. So I went against my gut on this. For this trade right here, I was saying that I didn't enter the trade yet. And then we actually entered too early because our criteria here for entering after news is 5 minutes before and 5 minutes after. So I actually entered that a little too early. So that was my mistake. If you guys took it with me, it's all good. Just eat the loss, move on to the next one. But this right here, I can't see the timestamp. Our criteria is supposed to be until 5:05. So we're not supposed to take any entries between this point right here. And I still took it. So I wouldn't be surprised if this fakes out and then it comes right back down, hits TP. This is the same mistake I made last time too. We just entered too early between the news price. So I'm going to wait for the next one here if another one comes up, but this was just, it didn't fit the criteria for our entry point, which is all good. Might be another one here. Let's see. Yeah, I shouldn't have FOMO. I basically FOMO'd into that trade because I had the opportunity to take myself out of the trade, but I didn't take myself out of it. I just held on to it because it was bouncing around this area and it never filled my order, and I could have easily just pulled out. But when it filled it right here, that's where I got caught in the trade. So I mean, it's all good. It happens. I feel like this week there's been a lot of FOMO on my end. I mean, this whole month in general, like the past month of August, there's been a lot of trades where we've lost, but they've been basically my fault because we either identified, we didn't look for the overextension, or we also didn't look for certain things like this, like the news price. Like this should have been already identified. I think what I'm going to do next when we have a news price is I'm just going to draw lines next to it like this so that we don't miss it, because this entry came up like 2 minutes before that. So it could have been easily avoided, but it is what it is. All right, anyways, back to the charts. Let's see if we can find something else over here. I want to find something to offset that loss. So let me go over here real quick, or let me give you guys an update. I just want to be transparent with you guys fully to let you guys know, whenever we do lose trades here, because we do lose trades. Just keep that in mind. We do lose trades. We rarely lose trades, but we do at some point. But I'll give the update here so that you guys can know why that loss happened. So stop loss hit on this K2SR rejection entry. That's the entry. My end trade for 5 minutes requirement. 5-minute news requirement. Yeah, so that's my bad, guys. so that you guys can see that there. All right, so I think, yeah, in the future, this is what I'm going to do. When we have news events like this, I'm just going to draw lines next to it so that we don't take the trade, because this trade came up right here. It was like 2 minutes before the criteria is passed. Unfortunately, we got caught in it, so it's all good. All right, so price is pushing up right here. I'm looking for possible entry to cover that trade there. So if price pushes up above here, look for the retracement there and push above higher. Let's see what else I'm missing over here real quick. Looks like we're good. Yeah, no, exactly. Peter said, hopefully Tuesday market starts to move, starts going back to moving normal since summer is over. Yeah, no, I agree too, Peter. Hope so, man. This whole summer season's been kind of off. I mean, even though we've been using this one strategy, it's sorry guys, 1 second. All right, guys, 1 second. Sorry. I'm gonna mute myself. I'll still be here though. All right, guys, sorry. Had to answer my call real quick. Anyways, back to the charts over here. I don't really see anything going on at the moment. What I'm looking for is this right here. So I'm looking for price to push up, come back down, retrace off here or bounce off here, and then continue up higher. So let's see where we're at. But there's nothing for us to take right now. Even if we were to take a buy right here, we need the trend meter here to turn green. It's still blue right now. The pivots are starting to shift to the upside. So it's okay if price starts to consolidate around here. When price does swing above, this will possibly turn green at that point. Let me see if there's anything else here that I'm looking at. Here, I'm gonna take a screenshot of my trades as well. Looks like I had some slippage, unfortunately. It didn't work in my favor. So I went a little over the 3,000 mark, which is fine. I mean, it's still like, what is 3,000? It's like 2.5%. So it's not very much. Or actually, it's like 1 point something percent of a 200K count. So I'll take a screenshot of that. Yeah, and FTMO as well. FTMO is actually, I mean, the MFF was the same as mine. So I'll post my loss right there. See if we can recoup. Today. All right, so there's my loss right there, guys. I just want to be transparent with you guys because I feel like you guys think I never lose. I do lose sometimes. But the real key with that is just like bouncing from it, right? I see a lot of people lose and they get stuck on it and then they can never bounce back. Sorry, let's do AAA. Sorry, my girlfriend's car, her battery died, so she just used my AAA procedure. Okay. All right, cool. So other than that, let's see if there's anything else over here for me to look at. So we're still looking for price to provide an entry over here. The trend meter is now, I mean, there might be an entry right here, actually. Yeah, see how this candle closes. So the setup that I was looking for right here almost played out on this candle, but it didn't necessarily close. Yeah, and Maddie also confirmed that it's overextended a bit. Yeah, so it's pushed up right here. From this point to here, it's pushed up 1,600 pips. So I probably want to wait for it to retrace down a little bit or consolidate before we take the entry. So there was no entry off that right there. The pattern that I drew right here did play out, but it didn't confirm the moderate green candle right here. So there's no entry. We need to wait for that moderate green candle to close. Also, due to the overextension in price, we probably want to wait for it to actually retrace or consolidate first before we can take it. What might happen at this point is, since price is in between two zones right here, price might just consolidate around this area right here. This might be the consolidation area before it breaks back out to the upside. So the target price points right here actually did get hit. So like the target price point for a sell never reached this point, the news price for the correction. But now it's pushing up here to reach this target price point for the correction to the upside or opening price. Okay. Yeah, Maddie said if price closes below the SR at 31,842, it can come back down. Yeah, no, exactly. I can see that too. It can come back to down here. So here it goes. Price consolidates around this area. Let's see if it ends up consolidating or if it retraces back down for the retracement. So this is why it's really important that you guys wait for these moves to happen. Like, for example, this right here, we could have entered this early if you got FOMO before it closed. But then you can see right here that the candle didn't close with a moderate green candle. So you would have skipped it, right? Because if you entered up here, you would have taken the buy from this point. You probably would have hit your TP if your spread didn't get you, but then it ended up swinging right back down. So just keep that in mind. 1 second, guys, I gotta answer this call. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry, handle this. All right, so price is coming down right here. Not really much going on. Sorry, guys. I just got like other side things going on right here. But anyways, back to the charts. There's nothing for us to take right now. We're still looking for a buy at this point. So right now the trend mirror is currently green. So you guys aren't missing on anything. I'm still looking at the screen right now. I'm also looking at my whatever stuff I'm doing here on the chart. But other than that, I think we're good for right now. So I'm looking over here at the current candle. It's currently still neutral right now, but there's nothing for us to take. It's neutral to green. I'm looking for price to swing back up over here. So if you guys are wondering what I'm looking for price to swing back up, come back for the retracement, give us the rejection off one of these structures, this one or this one above, and continuation to the upside. With that said, we don't have that yet, but it looks like it can be happening sometime soon. The good thing about this right here is that price did consolidate. So earlier, Maddie was referring to this being overextended, about 1,700 pips. Price is now in consolidation and possible continuation back to the upside. Sean, Maddie said, yo, Sean, whenever you got time to look at, he took the sell at, yeah, no, I can probably take a look, Maddie. Let's see. Yeah, so it said you took a sell at 714. Well, we'll look a little later, Maddie. You probably want to message this to me because when I get off the Zoom, it's not going to be on here. I'm not gonna be able to see what you messaged me. But yeah, I mean, you can send it to me later and we can take a look. Or if we have time at the end of the session, we can take a look as well. So this might be a buy entry right here. If this closes as a moderate green candle, it can possibly be a buy. You got to make sure that it's actually a moderate green candle though, and it closes. We got about 20 seconds left on this candle, so we'll see where it closes. You also want to make sure that the candle doesn't close too big. The candle here is a little large, but we'll see. It's got about 10 seconds left on it. This is as far as it can go. The candle's like way too big, so we're gonna have to skip this right here, guys. Unfortunately, if it was down here, I would have taken it, but it's just too high. So it might have to retrace a bit, and that's exactly what's happening right here, the retracement. So candle's just too large. All right, let's see. So price is coming down to this area. This is what we're looking for. We don't want it to close below it. We need it to close around this area right here. So we need to close around this point, get that wick rejection, and then swing right back up. So this is fine right here. If this ends up swinging back up, we'll have that wick rejection. We just need that moderate green candle after it. So right there, the wick rejection. Here we go with the green candle again. It needs to be moderate though, so just keep that in mind. So we got about 30 seconds left on this candle. Again, we want to make sure that it doesn't push too far. It looks like it's already getting to that pressing point. If it gets above this point right here, like if the candle closes up here, we for sure can't take it. And such a wacky market this whole week. It seems like, well, I mean, it is NFP, so actually it's not too wacky. It's normal. This is normal for an NFP trading session. Yeah, David said it was getting close to opening price. That was why I was inclined to take the trade here, but it's just not closing proper. So again, right here, this would have been a good entry if it closed a little higher, but it's the wick on top is just too big. Fortunately, I need this to push down a little bit because he doesn't have a wick on the bottom yet. It needs to push down slightly. Let's see where we're at. All right, so unfortunately, no wick rejection off there, so no entry. Man, it just looks like price is like not really doing much. I think this might be another fake out because you know how we got stuck into that fake out earlier down here. So price got near the news price, or yeah, you got near news price right here, and then it faked out right back up, right? Again, right here, price is getting really close to the opening price right there, but this can just be another fake out right back down. So you want to be very careful about taking entries here because it's just the same pattern. I mean, if you guys can see this, like I spotted this pattern immediately when I saw where price was currently at. It was it's in an area that you really don't want to be caught in, fortunately, but we'll see. I'll keep following it, but we'll see if we can get anything going over here. I mean, if you don't see anything anytime soon, then we might have to just sit out. But I do want to take at least one more to recoup at least some of the losses from that one trade from today. Let's see, I'm still watching it. Man. It's like price will get these big candles and then they'll just die out. Like for example, right here, this candle, like these previous candles over here are moving like at least 300 pips. And then now these current candles are moving like 170 pips. Let's see. So volatility is like definitely dying down a bit. I don't think there's any other news events today either. Check news real quick. Calendar. Yeah, there's nothing for us to like really, I mean, there's no catalyst really pushing the market. So this is the problem here, is that since there's no news coming up, the volatility can just like die down for a bit, especially because it's Friday. I mean, I think this is what will happen. Like typically we'll have like a lot of low volatility moves where price will just kind of consolidate for a while for like, 30 minutes or so, and then it'll just spike all of a sudden. So let's see right here if it touches the opening price. It's almost there. So this is the first target area. The next target area is going to be the zone above here. Peter said in 30 minutes, President Biden discusses American Rescue Plan investments. Yeah. So we got this coming up right here at 8 o'clock. So that's going to affect the market too. I guess if we don't see anything coming up within the next like 10, 20 minutes, we probably might have to sit it out because it's going to be a lot of pre-news things happening as well. Steven said he has 2.5 weeks left to pass phase one now. Yeah, it's more than enough time, Steven. Yeah, no, it's more than enough time. Yeah, so it just broke past open right here. Now it's testing the structure right here. Yeah, like Maddie said, he said, you can do it, Steven. Just don't focus on the money too much, just win. That's the main key here, guys. Like if you guys can focus on just winning, your profits will just keep multiplying. This week's been kind of choppy because I've been taking like kind of dumb trades, I feel. A lot of trades that could have been avoided, but it's all good. See if there's anything else right here. So price is pushing into this area. So here's another issue. When price pushes up here and we have a possible entry for a buy, it's again overextended. So the overextension has started from down here. And it's been up about 130 or 130 points, which is 1,300 pips. So again, you have to wait for the retracement to smoothing out. Kenny's asking, is the market going to be closed on Monday? Yes. Monday is a US holiday. It's Labor Day. It's going to be open for like maybe a couple hours on open, but volatility is going to be super low. So we're not going to have a live session on Monday, unfortunately, due to that. Steven, are you a comedian, bro? I feel like Steven is a comedian. This dude has a lot of funny things to say. You should try stand-up, Steven. Because literally, if you were a stand-up comedian, I'd probably go watch you. Because you're like, I don't know. I feel like every time like you have like a set of jokes for like something like with Ukraine. You ever hit up your boy Putin to end the war so we can start trading? I don't know if a lot of you guys were in the chat that day. Steven's a funny guy, dude. You're cool, Steven. I'm just joking with you, but you're hella funny. I think I'm gonna have to meet up with you when I make it out to the East Coast. All right, so let's see. Here's the retracement right here. Price pushed up. We're looking for either a retracement or consolidation now. This right here wasn't much of a consolidation. It was like 3 candles, but right here you can see price pushed up. So this is the type of consolidation that we would like to see. Let me just mark up right here. So this type of area right here, this is the type of consolidation that we would like to see. This one above here is just too small. It's not really a consolidation phase. So the push-up has started from this point right here to here, which is 1,400 pips. With that said, we're looking for either consolidation or retracement to happen right here, right? We want to at least like, let's see how many candles right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, about 11 candles right there. This was only about 1, 2, 3 candles. So you want about like 6 to 7 or more candles for the consolidation to be confirmed. Once we have that, price will likely move directional or it'll retrace. So here goes the retracement or consolidation, whatever you want to call it. We're waiting for it to actually confirm as it continues to move along. And then once we have that set up, we can start looking for possible buy here. Again, price is not just stuck at opening price though, so this kind of sucks. We don't want to trade around this area. It's a red flag, but we'll see where it goes from this point. Yeah, I know, Maddie. Literally. Yeah, let's hope he does though. Let's hope he does. All right, let's see. So we got what are they looking at up here? So Seth said, sorry, they just keep coming us all the sub bothering you guys. So right here, Seth over here took a couple more profits. He's up 41,994. Nice work, Seth. And then his other account over here, or the same account, just another trade, currently up 43,994. Damn, crazy. Pretty solid trades over here. Going for those quick pushes, some of the bigger pushes too, though. So overall, pretty solid. Looks like you're catching a lot of these moves off the analysis, especially with price pushing, in both directions. So you took advantage of the push down here. when price reversed. And then now that price is up here, let's see where the continuation happens, or if it even does continue. All right, Maddie over here as well. So Maddie on this account, he's up 10,380. Nice work, Maddie. And then his second account over here, I think this was your demo, you said? Oh yeah, so this is your demo. And this is your other account right here. So it's all good. I mean, it looks like you're slightly below in here because you took that loss earlier, but then you bounced right back from these. Or I don't know if this is the same trade. Might have been. But I mean, overall, you did pretty good. Oh, this was the same account. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, overall, it's all good. So Matt ate the loss earlier. He's like clawing his way back right here. He's he's at negative 555. So you just need like one more trade to make your way back. I'm looking over here, possible entry for a buy off the SR. Let's see where it's at. And this thing happened too quickly. I couldn't even see it. Not in it yet. Let me see. I'm going to draw it up on mine over here. See if I can catch it. Let's see, so it's filled on mine. See what's currently pushing. I'll have to manually exit it. Full TP off that. I got to manually exit. Unfortunately, I entered too late. So full TP off this one right here. If you guys caught it, I waited for it to push down a little bit. Then I entered it. And then I just had to manually exit the trade, unfortunately, because I entered late. Plus the spread is still kind of wide. So I caught it as a quick little win right there to recoup some of my losses. Not all of it, of course, but partial. So if you guys caught it, great. I caught like a really partial of it. But the setup we were looking for, it played out exactly how we were waiting for it. So this is what we were looking for. We were waiting for price to push back up, and I'll analyze it right now to show you guys how that played out. If you guys are still in the position, it looks like it's pushing up higher. You can probably still pull out right now for full TP. Yeah, I probably could have held on to it, but I didn't want to risk it because of how the market was moving. So with that said right here, this was the other entry. The reason why we took this trade here is because, let's go over here real quick. So first requirement, you want to confirm the trend, right? We have an upwards trend. A trend meter is green, pivots here angling upwards, the green pivots over the red. So this indicates that we have an upwards trend. After that, with this candle right here, we have a wick rejection off the structure with a moderate green candle, right? So this candle right here is a moderate green candle because there's no wick on top, wick rejection off the bottom, pushed up, and that provided for our entry at this point. So that's why I took the entry right here. I closed, I waited for it because I didn't get to enter right at the exact price point. But then as price pulled down, as it pushed back up, I entered. And then unfortunately, the spread is super wide. It was like at 190. So I had to pull out manually when it got to this point because it didn't pull me out with a TP. I could have held on to it and probably would have made me more because it did push up a bit higher right here. But I mean, it's all good. You know, me being safe and conservative, if you ever enter a trade late, you just got to make sure that you don't get greedy and you pull out when you're supposed to, because there'll be more entries. You know, it's just a matter of waiting for another one. So I'm looking for another one here. It's only 740 right now. If price stays around this area, then I'll look for another entry. If not, then I'll probably just call it a day for the most part. But yeah, I mean, this is NFP. We were expecting some crazy movements and we did get them. So there you go right here. Let's update this real quick. That right there. That right there. Man, it's been kind of a wacky week, especially with MFF kind of being all over the place. Looks like today MFF is okay though. They're not, I mean, they're still kind of crappy, but not as bad as they've been earlier in the week because the profits have been about the same. Not too bad. All right, so as price pushes down again right here, I'm looking for another possible entry. Let's see. Another possible entry here if this closes. No, it didn't close it as a moderate candle. Damn. All right. If price pushes too high, then we're definitely not going to have any entries from now until 8. So we'll see if there's another possible entry that we could take. If it keeps pushing up higher and doesn't retrace, then we're probably just gonna have to wrap it up for the day and for the week, because I'm not expecting any other zones to be created around this area. So the only time we can make an entry is if price pulls back to this point here, and depending on how far it pushes up. So it's only at like 400 pips right now, but if it pushes up like 1,000 pips, then we're probably not going to get an entry within the next, 15 minutes or so. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat right now. Otherwise, we already knew today was risky. I typically don't trade NFP, but I wanted to trade NFP today because of like the, basically the trash market we had all week. So if there's anything that you guys want me to take a look at, let me know. But if price continues to push up higher, which it's continuing to push up right here, the next zone is, or the nearest zone is right here. So I mean, it doesn't really matter what strategy we're looking to apply. If it's going to be the SR strategy, we need a rejection down here. If we're looking for a variation, we're not going to have any variations either because we have a bullish signal here, right? So in order for us to take a variation, we would need price to really drop down and provide an opposite signal so that we could have a pending momentum. The one thing that Maddie's probably looking at is going to be these double bodies right here. I did see that one as well right here, Maddie. It would have been good, right, for buy. But there's actually a couple. I don't know if, no, this one wouldn't be. But this one right here would have been solid, I think. Yeah, it's definitely overextended. So we'll see. It's 7:43 right now, so we got about 15 minutes till 8. I'll probably give it until like 7:45 or 7:50. But as I mentioned, if we don't see price pull back at all, then we're probably not going to have anything soon. Yeah, Maddie said 7:36 was perfect SR entry textbook. Yeah, exactly. The one that we took right here, right? Luckily, I looked at the screen soon enough for that candle to close because I would have totally missed it. But luckily, I caught it for like a little push at the very least. Let's see where I'm at. Yeah, I only locked in partial profit on that part, locked in like 350, which I mean, it's better than nothing. It still covers some of the losses from that earlier trade, but it's all good. Let's see what else I'm missing here. All right, so it looks like volatility is like super dead right now. It's about like 7:45. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to message me or email me. We got to keep in mind that it's still NFP. So like as it gets closer to 8, one of the reasons why I'm not looking to trade closer to 8 is because Biden is speaking, right? So where's the thing that Peter posted earlier? Yeah, exactly. Peter said they're waiting for Biden to speak, and that's exactly why I'm cutting it a little early, because Biden is speaking at 8 o'clock. So it seems like a lot of people are just going to wait out the market. They're just going to sit here and wait, and then they're going to anticipate this to spike one way or the other once Biden starts speaking. So I think the market's going to be pretty flat. So like, there's no point in just sitting here and waiting. And then after 8, we're not looking to take any trades anyways. Oh, there you go, Peter. Thank you. I was trying to look for the link. Yeah. So right here, Biden's remarks on the American Rescue Plan investments. So this is going to directly affect the economy, right? And directly affect the market as well. So I wouldn't recommend trading after 8. The market looks like it's going to be flat. So I'm assuming it's just going to go sideways from now until 8 o'clock. And then from there, we might see either a farther sideways move or some crazy spikes, depending on who's looking to gamble on, what he's saying over here. So I think that's about it, guys. So if you guys have any questions, always feel free to pop into the chat. Or if you guys want to message me directly, you guys can message me directly or email me. But I think other than that, I would just sit out the rest of the week, guys. This whole week has been kind of choppy. NFP is usually a good or bad week. It's usually one side or the other. It's never like really in the middle. This week was unfortunately not so great for us, but it's been the first, I think this is like the first red week we've had in, I can't remember the last time we had a red week. We haven't had a red month like pretty much all year, but yeah, it's been kind of a slow. I think for this month, we've had the most losses we've had in a while. So let me see. Where's the full? Yeah, because the last time we had 3 losses was like in January. February, we had 1 loss. March, no losses. April, no losses. May, no losses. June, 1 loss. July, 2 losses. And then for August, today we had about 4 losses. Yeah, so 4 losses for the entire week, which is, it's still not that bad. Overall, it's still, it's a long-term aspect of it. And we already expected the summer to be kind of choppy. So I think in September, once we start to pick it up and take more trades, it's going to be a lot more beneficial for our overall stats. So yeah, other than that, guys, I think that's it. We'll wrap this up. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, have a great weekend, guys. Be safe. And a reminder, Monday is a holiday. So we're not going to be trading live on Monday. There's no point in risking it. I've lost a lot of accounts trading on a holiday on accident. So I just sit out holidays in general now. So other than that, I will see you guys here on Tuesday as we pick up and the market fully reopens from the long US holiday. So other than that, guys, I will see you guys then, and we'll catch you guys back here on Tuesday morning.